Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope everybody had a nice Christmas celebration. This is the promised drive back from when we were at Leganes public market just before Christmas. We were taking a different route than we usually do due to traffic. So a bit into this video, we will see some roads we have never traveled before in this channel. So let's go. So I was thinking we could revisit the budget thing in this video. A few videos back I talked about my budget here in the Philippines, how much I've spent on average every month since I got here about 17-18 months ago. And of course I got some comments about I was paying too much and stuff. It was not in ill fate or anything, it was just as usual when you talk about budget and the costs here in the Philippines. You usually get some feedback that says you can live much cheaper than that. And yes, that is very true. You can live really cheap here, especially if you compare yourself to Filipinos. Many of the families here does live for a lot less than I spend every month. But I would say that everything is about what you need to be comfortable. So I would say that your need for comfort level is what's going to affect your budget the most. Then there is other factors like where in the Philippines you're staying, because there are areas that are cheaper and there are areas that are more expensive, of course. When it comes to what kind of comfort level you need, my comfort level is way higher than, for example, my girlfriend, who grew up in a very different environment than I did. I mean, in Sweden we have everything at our fingertips, from healthcare and all that stuff to all our entertainment and food and candies and all that stuff. And she didn't have that. So if she was going to decide what comfort level we're gonna be on, it will be way less than what I would want. So it's easier for her to accept my comfort level than for me to accept her comfort level. That is why it gets more expensive for me to live here than for the average Filipino. So if you're coming here to the Philippines to have a total Western lifestyle, it will actually be very expensive, way more than you would pay back home, because everything here you need is imported, and that is more expensive. To recap from the last budget video, our budget is 80,000 pesos a month, and we have managed to keep below that during the 18 months we lived here now. I would say we have a mixed lifestyle, some Filipino, some Westerner, more Westerner according to me at least. We do our produce shopping and that thing on the palenques, the markets here. We do some shopping at SNR. For some of the imported stuff, and we do the regular shopping in the local supermarket. Here we're coming up to the intersection where we usually take a left to go back to Iloilo. Today we're gonna go straight ahead and go towards Santa Barbara. That road we have never taken on video before, so this is a new trip for everyone. So back to the budget thing. Many expats buy a car here. I have not chosen to do that because the traffic is much easier to navigate with a bike. Although it is nice to have the aircon from a car and when it's raining and all that stuff. But not having a car, I would say, is more like a Filipino lifestyle, because most Filipinos don't have a car. They have a bike, especially if we go outside bigger cities. So that is one for the Filipino lifestyle, perhaps. I don't know if you agree with me, but that's how I see it anyway. So again, for people who thinks my budget is expensive, that might be for them because they have a different lifestyle than what I want. So everybody who's asking, how much is it to live in the Philippines? Yeah, it depends. We get that question all the time in different expats groups on Facebook and that kind. And that is the most common question, how much to stay in the Philippines? Yeah, it is, you can't answer that question. For me, that answer is 80,000 pesos. For another guy, it might be 50,000. For yet another guy, it might be 150,000. It depends on where you're gonna live, how you're gonna live. So first you have to decide on where do you want to live. Do you want to live up in the mountains where it might be cooler? Do you want to live in the smack in the middle of a city? Do you want to live on the countryside? Or do you want to live on the beach? Whatever you choose, that will affect your budget, or at least a part of your budget. And then there is how you want to live. Do you want to live in a nipa hut? Do you want to live in a condo with amenities like pool and gym? Do you want to rent a house? Should that house have a garage? Should it have a garden? I mean, the options are as many here as it is back home in your home country. And I would recommend that you have checked that out, what kind of lifestyle you want to have in regards to your living, because the cost of housing is usually the biggest post in your budget. So consider that before moving here. And then you have the option of building a house or owning a house. As a foreigner, it is not allowed to own land. You need a Filipino partner to be able to do that. Many people are doing that thing to don't have any rent. And of course, if you compare a budget with someone who has a house, it can be the same house that I have here. We rent it for 20,000 pesos a month, and they have the same house and pay nothing for rent because they have bought it or built it. Of course, their budget will be 20,000 pesos cheaper. However, when you own the property, you are not as flexible, because here in the Philippines, you might wake up one morning and your neighbor has started to breed dogs or chickens or roosters or even pigs, depending on in what area you live in. If you are renting, you can just pack up your bags and go somewhere else. If you own the property, you kind of have to suck it up and listen to those roosters or chickens or pigs or videoke 24/7. So it has to be said that you have to do your due diligence before buying a property or land or house or anything here to see what you might be waking up to one morning. I'm not saying that that is common, but I know it has happened. Some expat that have a pig farm next door, just a few years into their living here. So the where and how to live is a big part of your budget, and you can't compare that to anybody else who isn't living in the exact same area, in the exact same house or apartment like you're gonna do, because as soon as you move to another city or another island or something like that, the cost is gonna differ. Then you have your negotiation skills that gonna play a part in how your budget's gonna turn out. I'm pretty sure there are people who are renting the same kind of house here in Savannah that are paying less than me, and I'm pretty sure there is people that are paying more than me. It all depends on your landlord and your ability to make a deal. So again, comparing two persons' budget is not advisable, because you don't know exactly how they went around to get that deal for their house or their apartment. Another thing I don't think people take enough time to think about in their budgets is the free time. If you like me, coming here as an expat and don't do any work, you have a lot of free time on your hands every day. What are you gonna fill that time with? When I was moving here, many people said, what are you gonna do all day? And I wasn't too worried about that, because one of my major interests is movies and TV shows. I watch a lot of TV, different movies and TV shows I'm following, and I read quite a lot of books. Those things are not entirely free, but you know what the cost is every month if you have your Netflix or Apple TV Plus subscription, and you know, Spotify and all that stuff. You know what the cost is. But if you intend to fill your days with drinking beer on some bar, or entertaining bar girls, or traveling the islands, or go out for do some shopping every day. I mean, that is something that can be quite costly when you do it every day for months and months. So you need to figure out what are you going to do during the days. Are you gonna sit down and play video games, or you're gonna read your books, or you're gonna be out spending money? That is something that can be very expensive if you haven't taken it into account when you're doing your budget. That is another thing to watch out for when you try to compare a budget with someone else. That what do they do with their free time? Are they doing something expensive, or are they just sitting at home doing nothing? So again, comparing budgets is not that good. Then you come to the food thing. You have to eat to live, and some people live to eat. I'm more of the latter one. I love to eat some yummy food. That can be a problem here in the Philippines, especially if you are craving your Western food, like your steaks and that kind of stuff. It is available here, but it is frozen, of course, and it is pretty expensive. So what kind of diet are you gonna have here? Or it's gonna be like home, you have a lot of, I'm talking for myself now, pizza, sausages, steaks, and all that stuff? Or you're gonna go more towards Filipino diet with rice, veggies, and some chicken perhaps, and fish. Lots of fish are eaten here. That also will impact your budget, of course, if you have to buy the more expensive cuts of steaks and all that stuff, or if you are happy with chicken adobo or rice for that matter. I know many expats don't like the rice. I, for one, love it, so it's not a problem for me. But if you don't want to eat the rice and you have to buy pasta or potatoes, those are usually much more expensive than the rice. Especially pasta here is really expensive compared to what I would pay back home in Sweden. So that is another thing to figure out what kind of food are you gonna eat. So here we're on the main road. This way we're coming to Santa Barbara, and further up the road is Iloilo Airport. If you go the other direction, we are going to Iloilo City. We're gonna go up to Santa Barbara in the roundabout. We're gonna take a left and go towards San Miguel. So we can see if they are done with the repairs of that road. Last time we were driving here, it was not that done yet. So let's see how it looks today. So your diet is probably severely gonna impact your budget. If you want to know what stuff is gonna cost you here, like pasta and that kind of stuff, you can check out different stores' web pages. Most of them have a web shop these days, like Robinson Supermarkets, Iloilo Supermart have one, for example. You can go in there and see what your diet today would cost you. If you can figure out how much you use each week or each month, you can get an estimate on how much you would spend on your pasta or your sausages or whatever you want. So that is a good place to start. Then you can check out Lazada and Shopee or even Amazon for those dry goods that you might want to have delivered to your home. That is not available in the regular supermarkets. Also a good place to check out what kind of cost your diet would carry. Another thing to consider when you're doing your budget is your means of transportation. Are you going to have a car with the cost that carries with it, or you're going to have a bike like me that is way cheaper than a car, or you're just going to rely on public transportation like jeepneys or Grab or taxis? It all depends on where you're going to live, of course, and what is available there, but you need to figure that out before you settle for your budget. Here we are in Santa Barbara. We have been here sometimes before. We have a Save More supermarket to the right here, just behind Jollibee. So this is the road going to San Miguel, and I can already tell that they are not done with roadworks here. We will see if it's gonna be a long drive going back home. So when you figured out where you're gonna live, how you're gonna live, how you're gonna eat, and what you're gonna do for transportation, and what you're gonna do with your free time, you have gone pretty far in setting your budget. You still have some things to consider, and one of them is the healthcare. If you are gonna self-insure, that many people are doing here because it isn't that expensive to go to the doctor, they just keep a handsomely amount of cash lying around to pay for any hospitalization or anything like that. Or if you're gonna have insurance policy for your healthcare, you can, as a foreigner nowadays, have the Phil Health. That is usable mostly for public hospitals, but you can also use them for the private hospitals, where they will just reimburse a very low amount on your procedures. There is a lot of rules and regulations around that, so I have not chosen that part. I have chosen a private insurance company that I have some copay. I have 20% copay to keep the premium down. As long as I am quite healthy and not that old yet, I think I will carry on with this. My cost is about the same as a Phil Health, and the Phil Health is about 18,000 pesos a year for a foreigner. So I pay about 18,000 pesos for my health insurance, and I will keep doing that until I get that old that my premium is going way up, and then I will reevaluate and see if I'm gonna self-insure or if it's still worth it to have a private insurance. So healthcare or insurance are some things that can affect your budget differently depending on your age and what kind of coverage you want. So if you're going for full coverage health insurance and you compare your budget to someone who is doing self-insurance, your budget's gonna vary a lot depending on how much you pay and how much that guy or person has spent on healthcare during his budget year, or however you want to analyze it. Another thing that can make or break your budget is, again, the level of comfort you need. Are you gonna need 24/7 air cons to keep your temperature at cozy 20 degrees centigrade, or are you gonna do Filipino style with fans and perhaps aircon just a few hours during the night? Also, where you live is gonna affect this. If you live up in the mountains, sometimes you don't need an aircon at all. Sometimes you need an aircon during the days and nothing during the night. Electricity is pretty expensive here compared to in the Western world. I read somewhere that the Philippines is one of the highest tariffs in the world. I have not done any research about that myself, but it is expensive. I pay way more here than what we pay in Sweden usually. So that is another thing to figure out, that how are you with heat? Have you traveled to tropical countries before? Do you know what it means to be in this humidity 24/7 and to live it in it? Because when you're in a hotel on your vacation here, there is usually aircon and you don't have to care about the cost of it. But when you're sitting here and you can feel how much the money is just running through your aircons when they are working, it might be a thing to consider. Can you take the heat and the humidity, or do you need to use aircon? That can be very expensive. I have seen expats have to move to smaller places to be able to aircon their whole house because their age or health or general constitution didn't make them happy in this heat. Well, I can safely say that this road is nowhere near completion. I'm not sure they're gonna be done this year. This was 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas we were driving here, So they had a few weeks more to fix this up, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna be done. So I think we have covered what I think is the parts of your living that will affect your budget the most. There is of course a lot of other stuff you're gonna spend your money on, like dining out, but I think that is kind of included in the category of what you're gonna do with your free time, because going out and leaving your house is kind of what you do with your free time, so I will put it in that one. Then you have the basic stuff that you have back home as well. You need to buy some clothes and shampoo and all that stuff. That doesn't have to be more expensive here than it is back home, unless you are a very big guy or have very big feet. So you need to order special sizes. But as for me, who is a pretty big guy, I can go to H&M. They have European sizes, so I can get my t-shirts and all that stuff there. And I don't have any huge feet, so I can buy my shoes here in the Philippines as usual. And on that note, I can tell you that you can use H&M online. I have done some shopping online when they have had free deliveries or other kind of discounts. They send it from Europe actually, and it just takes a few days for them to deliver here in Iloilo. I have also used IKEA to buy some utensils and stuff. They have had some free delivery all over the Philippines. Here in Iloilo we can just order parcel delivery up to 30 kilograms, I think it is. But if you live in Manila and on that island, you can get truck delivery for furniture and stuff. I hope they will include us in the truck delivery, so you can buy some furniture as well. I don't know if you like IKEA, but I think it is pretty good for what you pay. So I've been using it a few times to get some parcels delivered here with some small stuff like sheets and pillows and that stuff is available. So I don't know if I have that much to add to the budget talks. I know I have not covered everything, and I have probably forgot something very important. So feel free to tell me about it in the comments, and we can talk about it there, or I might include it in a future video. However, I recommend everyone who is going to move here to the Philippines or to another country or anywhere else to do your research before you go. I did a lot of research before I was coming here. I have to admit I hadn't been to the Philippines before I moved here. I had been in tropical countries before and stayed there for extended time, so I know the heat wouldn't be a problem, but cultural shock might be. But I read a lot of forum posts and was in a lot of expat groups before I got here, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos like you are doing now perhaps, to figure out what I could expect by coming here. Then why I settled on Iloilo was one, that lady of the house, she is from this region, and two, it is pretty safe when you talk about typhoons and earthquakes and volcanoes. It is pretty safe here compared to many other places. So that was another big thing. I haven't decided if we are gonna stay here for all time, or if we're gonna move to some other island or something like that. I think that 2024 will be a year of some domestic traveling, trying out some other islands and stuff. But you never know. You can do a lot of plans, and then something happens that makes everything go in another direction. But there is some plans of exploring the Philippines a little bit more. So we will see where we will end up later this year, or next year actually, because today is New Year's Eve actually that I'm doing this. So, talk about budgets. I previously mentioned that everybody is talking in expat groups and stuff. They are asking the same question: how much to stay in the Philippines? So let's just sum up what we have been talking about today. That the most important part before you can answer that question is where you want to live and how do you want to live. That is the most important thing of all. And the next part, as we said, is what kind of lifestyle do you want? What are you going to do with your free time? And what kind of diet are you going to have? That is, in my eyes, the things that is most probable to mess up your budget if you get it wrong. I mean, if you accidentally get a more expensive cell phone plan, that won't break your budget. You can change it after a while. But if you come here and you get the wrong house, or you have severely miscalculated how much it will cost to eat every month, that can be much harder to rectify, because if you don't like rice, you don't like rice. So, how much does it cost to live in the Philippines? Can I live on $1,000? Yes, you can. Can I live on $800? Yes, of course. Can I live on $500? Yes, you can. I'm not sure you will like it though. But as long as you're comfortable, you will probably be happy here. Make sure that you do enough research so you have a budget big enough to make you comfy here in the Philippines. Because if you're not happy with your life here, like where you're living, your environment, or your diet, or that kind of stuff, life here is presenting some challenges you perhaps didn't have back home, and that will just make you miserable and regretting you went here in the first place. And I've seen a lot of expat in expat groups that is doing a lot of complaining, and that is the right, of course, but I feel so sad for them, because you were coming here to have a better life, or I did anyway, and if you just complain about it every time or every day, then something is wrong. And I'm not sure if it is a budget problem or what it is, but perhaps they haven't done the research enough, or they didn't know what they were getting into. So please do your research and make sure you have a budget that is big enough to fit your expected lifestyle. So we're getting close to home, and I think it's time to sum up this video and this year perhaps, since it's New Year's Eve today when I'm doing this voiceover. I hope someone had found this video interesting, and I know it is very broad strokes about budget and stuff. If you have any more questions or something like that, you can please let me know in the comments, and we can address it in a future video, or you can email me. You'll find my email on my YouTube page. I wish that everybody have had a nice 2023, and we are looking forward to even better, I hope, 2024. And I hope some of you will come here to the Philippines and join me in this very nice lifestyle, at least according to me. I'm very happy here in Iloilo, and I hope that will continue this way. And I hope you will continue watching my videos coming year. So we are getting close to Savannah entrance here. So I want to thank everybody for this year and for following me on YouTube. Please, as usual, like and subscribe, and you can share this video if you have someone who would be interested in listening about me ranting about budget things here in the Philippines. So please, everybody, have a happy ending of 2023 and a happy new year 2024. Bye for now.